voice did waver a little bit during the intro, but the Patriots did not waver. Last night, they were down late in a back-and-forth game. Mahomes scoring. Brady scoring.
Mahomes, man?
The Patriots scoring. It was such a good game. There's Mahomes with an accidental touchdown throw. I do not think he meant to throw that to Tyreek Hill in the back of the end zone. Edelman catching balls. Brady sneaking in himself. It was such a great game. This score here tied the game at 40, but if you look at the clock, 3 minutes in Foxborough. Tom Brady to Gronkowski. You know how this ends. Gronkowski leads to Goskowski. Right in between the uprights. What a game. Now, this was for the who is the best team in the AFC rights. Do you think the Patriots solidified themselves with this victory as the best team in the AFC?
Well, as long as Bill Belichick is on the sideline and Tom Brady is able to stand upright as a 41-year-old quarterback and play at an MVP level, you have to consider the Patriots until you see somebody just beat them to the point where they're walking off the field and their heads are down. And all of a sudden, you're trying to integrate Josh Gordon. You get Edelman back. Sony Michel continues to get more comfortable in their offense.
He looked bad early in the season. He looked pretty good last night.
So because of those dynamics and their defense continues to improve as the season continues to progress, they're going to be in the conversation. The one thing that stands out to me, however, Gronk looks hobbled.
He doesn't look the same. He caught one pass in the first half, and you're wondering, like, I was watching him, not even going out for routes, singing and blocking a lot. It was an odd Gronkowski night.
Well, I talked about it on this program, not because he isn't a terrific tight end. I just felt like the accumulations of hits based on his salary that they should consider trading him. And, of course, they considered trading him to my team, the Detroit Lions, and I would not have been happy about it.
And one thing that stood out to me watching this game was Gronkowski's counterpoint, someone who has replaced him as the best tight end in football, Kelsey. Belichick always does this, and we've been saying this for a decade. He takes away your best weapon, and you didn't see too much Kelsey last night during that game at all either. Like, they can scheme against teams, but you can't scheme against Tyreek Hill being the fastest person on the planet.
Correct, and also you can scheme against a player, but the KC squad has weapons.
So many.
I mean, you got Mahomes, who's a threat to not only throw the deep ball, but also scramble out of the pocket. And then you talk about Hunt. And then you got Tyreek Hill, had 3 touchdowns. And so that level of explosiveness gets us a 43-40 game on Sunday Night Football, which we're enthusiastic to watch.
And you know me, I want to go to bed early. You know I want to go to bed early. But with the Red Sox game and the Patriots game last night, it was just, I had to stay up past my bedtime. It was such a good game. I do think this, though. I think the Chiefs walk away pretty happy from that. I think they walk away pretty, like, Foxborough crowd, night game. They were down early. They came back, got up by a touchdown late, tie game, responded. Like, I feel like the Chiefs walk away from this saying, you know what? We'll see them in the playoffs. And you know what? Our record is better than their record. We might see them in the playoffs in Kansas City, and let's see what the score is at the end of that game.
Well, I agree with you. In theory, you have a redshirt rookie and Mahomes playing quarterback. He's only going to get more experience. And also, Belichick has feasted on inexperienced rookie-type quarterbacks throughout his career in scheming and beating them. So as he continues to gain more experience, and here's a key that I need to see happen for KC. First and foremost, people sleep on the fact, I believe they were going to get Earl Thomas. And then he got injured. But one thing will happen, they're going to get Eric Berry back. And he's an all-pro safety. He's going to help shore up a lot of holes that they have defensively.
There were a lot of holes in the secondary last night. Another big AFC game, the Steelers against the Bengals, 2 teams that have been playing well coming into this one. The Steelers ended up on top. It was a close game, and it came down to something that we've seen before. First, we see James Conner, just get off of me! Get off of me again! Keep running. Le'Veon Bell himself tweeted in response to that particular play. James Conner has been playing well for the past couple weeks in replace of Le'Veon and getting into the end zone. But there was also this play. It's a pick play, whatever you want to call it, but we've seen it before. Antonio Brown scampering into the end zone at the very end of the game, leaving just 10 seconds on the clock, and a victory for the Steelers. There's a lot of directions to go with this, but let's just start here. Steelers say they haven't heard from Le'Veon Bell. What happens with this? Is Le'Veon Bell going to come back this week as it was reported he would?
If I had to guess, yes. And you guys don't have to hear from me until today. When I show up at the facility, when everybody else is enjoying their bye week and I'm with the trainers, I'm making sure that I'm working out with the guys in in the weight room. But you know what's more important? I'm getting that playbook, and I'm immersing myself into it. And lastly, you know what else I'm really doing? I'm picking up my paycheck. For the first time this season, I get my $800,000 paycheck.
Well, I mean, the bye week is the right time to do this because he does have to, like you said, it's not the exact same playbook as last year. He has to work himself into shape. The bye week's the perfect time to do this. And don't you think he splits carries with Connor in the first couple weeks?
Yeah, he splits carries because even though Le'Veon has produced well as the season continued to progress, for the last 6 years, he didn't play week 1. So if you look at his stats in those years, he continued to struggle based on his normal productivity in September. So it's going to take him time to actually get back up to all-pro level running back. But also, if you're the Steelers, there's two things at play. One, he ain't the future. Connor is. It's going to be his last year with the squad. Yeah. So you're not going to just totally just phase Connor out, make him go hold a clipboard, so to speak, and not give him any carries, knowing that Le'Veon's not going to be there next year. And couple that with the fact that he's played really well, in particular the last 2 weeks, where he has a total of 4 touchdowns.
Well, the Raiders, they kind of stink.
Kinda.
They kind of stink. They're 1-5 after this week. They
fans
brought
of
all
Oakland
that
like
stink.
they can leave this year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They can leave this year. Y'all going to Vegas? Y'all can leave right now.
Go ahead. And they brought that stink into a game against the Seahawks, and the Seahawks just waxed them. It was one of those games that didn't feel like it was ever in jeopardy with the Seahawk victory. And if you're on the Raiders, you go through the motions, and you get done with the game, and you're in your locker room, and, the reporters start to ask you where your head's at. And they did that to Bruce Irvin, and let's just listen to how Mr. Irvin responded.
We lost, but I got a beautiful wife I get to go home to, boy. We're going to try and make some babies, man.
I got a beautiful wife I'm going to go home to, boy. Going to try to make some babies, man. I understood him with the first part, but I got too many kids, so I'm no. What do you think about Mr. Irvin's post-game response?
This is classic of what I like to discuss into microphones for public consumption. It's the score of the game, and it's the game of life. And here's a professional football player. He could have went on a rant about what the organization
complained about play calls and the offense.
What the offense isn't.
Rumors of Amari Cooper getting traded.
I'm not getting fined and losing money from my check because they decided to trade our best player. I'm not going to mess up my reputation, my image for a squad that they're shopping Amari Cooper. So let me get this right. Here's a guy that I saw be a terrific wide receiver. Just like I saw
the same quarterback they have right now
be a defensive player of the year. You don't improve by trading your best players. Michael Crabtree is balling with the Ravens.
Yes, he is.
Okay, so I really just don't understand what the Raiders are trying to do. What I will say,
I know what Bruce Irvin's trying to do.
No question.
I know what he's trying to do. I understand what Bruce Irvin's trying to do.
I ain't mad at him at all. But here's the thing. When was that game played again? Wembley Stadium?
I believe it was in London, yep.
Okay. Other than watching Russell Wilson get 3 touchdowns, I like to apologize to the people of Europe. Okay.
The uniforms look good. The team does not.
Because that's the product we sending. So also, they come from the furthest distance. They come from the Pacific Northwest and the West Coast to fly all the way through the East to all the way through Europe. To watch those two stars play?
To do that?
Like, who's scheduling those games? I know nobody wants to go during the season, but come on, we got to give them a better product than that.
I just want to hope. Someone mark this date. 9.5, 10 months. I want Bruce Irvin to have a child. Like, from this date. From this date. Don't move.
Or at least do a lot of practice.
Don't move, because after this, we'll be covering every single other game that we have not yet discussed in the NFL. It's Monday. Jalen Jacoby.
Nobody move. Nobody get hurt.
Marshawn Lynch, I know you saw this, was being videotaped by a stranger on their phone.